watching StuyInterviews.
The experiment you'll be taking part in today involves the perception of lengths of lines. As you can see here, I have a number of cards, and on each card there are several lines. Your task is a very simple one. You're to look at the line on the left and determine which of the three lines on the right is equal to it in length. All right, we'll proceed in this order. You'll give your answer.
Only one of the people in the group is a real subject, the fifth person with the white t-shirt. The others are confederates of the experimenter and have been told to give wrong answers on some of the trials. The experiment begins uneventfully as subjects give their judgments.
2, 2, 2,
2,
2, 3, 3, 3,
3.
But on the third trial, something happens.
2, 2,
2.
2,
2.
The subject denies the evidence of his own eyes and yields to group influence.
1.
Asch found subjects went along with the group on 37% of the critical trials. But he found through interviews that they went along with the group for different reasons.
1. 1. They must be right. There are 4 of them and 1 of me.
We tested this at Stuyvesant, using set questions through a series of 3 trials. The SAT is used as a means of measurement and selection from a multitude of colleges. In order to be a decent determiner, the SAT questions have to have clear cut without any debatability. Both the SAT English and Math have clear cut, undeniable answer choices, making these questions obvious enough to get correct. However, though these students are incredibly intelligent, if they're just as intelligent, peer argues for a different answer, will they change their original choice? A quick overview before we get started.
So for the first one, I got A.
I got A.
The other ones, like, I just did the process of elimination. Like,
It just didn't make sense.
it's not reflects the hectic and unpredictable nature of life in Cecilia's building, because, like, I don't think that really
I mean, if
matters.
you just look at the word, it says
Just like
Doesn't really talk about
spidery potted plants, votives along the windowsills.
also the first line. It says,
Rugs.
I loved how.
Wait, can we like go around and really quickly say what answers you got for like both of them? So we
Oh,
can
yeah,
just
yeah.
Karen, you first.
So for
Okay.
For 1, I got A, and then for 2, I got D.
mm,
Okay.
yeah, I got it differently. I got the first one is A. The first one I got B.
Yeah, same. For the first one I got A, second one I got B.
So what I thought was different was that she basically talks about where is she going to school, like, and she's going to Celia trailed off as though she didn't want to say it out loud to Evers, right? And then when she later says, like, she basically doesn't want to say where she's going to school, right? So then the other woman, I don't remember, I think Celia, right? Celia is like, well, it's better for the boys to grow up here, and Panama is awesome because we spend our lives there, but it's actually like dangerous right now, and it's falling apart. So I guess she's trying to say that, yeah, you might be going to a school that's kind of not the best, but at least you're like in the U.S.
I mean, basically, why I picked B was basically, I mean, one of the biggest reasons. I was really stuck between B and D. One of the biggest reasons is line. What line is it? 97, right? It says she put her hand on mine. A benediction. That word, it's kind of like an old-timey word for reminder, and so I mean that just like, you know, I just learned that from
yeah.
doing vocab practice. So I mean, I just saw that basically made me hit B.
Yeah, I was also stuck between B and D. Another reason why I chose D was because there's one line, I think it's like line 87, where she's like, you don't have to explain it to me, which I feel like she, in that sense, already knows that, like, the reason why, and also like that she understands and also empathizes with her.
Yeah, if she knows the reasons why, then she's going to, you know, like, if she knows the.
I mean, like she wants to remind the narrator that like, sure, you got into a maybe not like the best type of school, but there's a reason they both they don't really know the narrator's reason for coming to the AOS, but it's kind of implied that like it's also to I guess escape like some bad life abroad. So I mean, I don't really know why Celia would have to emphasize Celia's already emphasizing because of her comfortable house and everything. It's like I don't really know if she would.
I mean, also lines 95, 96, right? It says it's amazing what is amazing, isn't it? What parents will do for their children, and so I think that's just basically that's just spelling it out, right? Like it's just saying that the reason that they're immigrating is because you know the parents they care for their children.
Yeah, so like, you guys have discussed for a while. You still have 3 minutes, but I'm gonna say we really want you guys to come to like an overall consensus of like one answer for each. So yeah, 3 more minutes to finalize.
Okay, I think in this case, well, for one, we can all agree that it's probably A.
Yeah.
For B, I feel like, or no, for 2, I feel like in this case, then B would actually make more sense.
Okay.
So we can just go with B for that.
B.
I think
Yeah.
just overall within like the context of the
Yeah.
passage.
Yeah, like D is like, I think it might be like a little trick question. Like
Yeah,
for
it's
D.
it's definitely
It's
like a
like
trick
that's like
question.
just how SAT problems are structured. They'll like have one answer
Yeah.
that's like the correct one, but one answer that sounds correct, just like they can trick people.
Okay, so is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
A and B, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So to choose the wrong answer, your answer for number 2 is right, but you convinced yourself to change your mind just because the majority of these people tell you that you are very capable and you need to believe in yourself.
Right? Like,
No, they sounded
it's
so
gonna play for
convincing.
gaslighting.
Right? Yeah, that was your job.
I was kind of struggling because like I did not know any reason.
No, you put up with evidence. I see you with like your whole blown explanation.
You know the
Good
thing I
job.
said about the word benediction?
like,
being the word
like
for
so
a
made
Bible?
up.
I was like, what in the world is he doing?
So made up. I literally was like
Benediction
picking
has
at
nothing
straws.
to do with
I
grammar.
was like, no.
Benedict actually.
That has nothing to do with grammar. I completely made it up.
W.
Any order.
Alright, I'll go first. So for question 1, I got A. For question 2, I got B.
1A, 2D.
1A, 2D.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'll stop the timer. Yeah, wait, let me just say something really quick. Okay, so now you're gonna like talk about your answers and like she'll tell you like what is gonna happen after.
Okay, so you guys have to come to a general consensus about what your answer choice is. You guys have to have the same answer choices throughout, and if you guys don't, then if you guys get the answers wrong though, you get no candy. If you get it right, you get candy.
Yeah, then everyone gets. So like the goal is to make sure everyone has like the 2 same answers.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. You guys have 7 minutes to discuss, and like the point is for us to like discuss your like discussions. I mean no, record your discussions and see like how you guys think. Yeah, I'll start. You guys can start talking.
So
I
basically, we
have
all
to
got
find a line
A.
here.
We all got A
For the first
one,
answer.
okay.
for the first answer. So let's just go over that.
Okay.
So, okay. Did everybody else do process of elimination?
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Basically.
So,
I mean,
so let's go.
C is
through.
irrelevant. You know,
C does not. C doesn't make sense in the
It
context.
doesn't even talk about United States.
D, it doesn't say that she's a collector. The only
Yeah.
personality traits is that she's like warming and
The
that she
only
likes
part-
makeup.
Yeah.
The only part that really says anything about collector is when they have like say that she had like a collection of spices
Mhm.
and like she had garlics inside the plastic bag. But other than that, there's nothing really.
And the garlic thing with
Especially
the
if you
door
look at,
lock door on the scene,
line
maybe like a
9,
symbolic thing.
it says, I love how full her home felt.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're set on A.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, Brandon, what do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, what you guys said.
You have to say stuff. Come on, dude.
The garlic thing reminded me of vampires. So maybe
Okay.
it's a.
That works. That works. That's
Okay.
It's A.
Okay.
Okay, 2 is where we
Also like
disagree.
try to speak a little bit louder so the camera picks up on your voice. Like,
Alright.
thank
So
you.
we all agree that we
Number one
agree
is
that
Yeah.
we
Okay,
wait,
we all agree number 1 is it.
yes
Yeah.
we agree.
Okay.
Okay,
Two
let's
is where we had a little bit of.
okay. So let's
Okay, why
let's
do you guys
just
think it's D?
I think it's D because it doesn't make sense for C and A because
Okay.
well the
I mean, I
narrator
got
doesn't
that.
share her story of immigration and console the narrator. It doesn't show how she's prospered. It just shows the reason for leaving, right? And then B, it's not. We don't know the reason that that because it's for that Christina. Well, she's the author, right? I don't know the reason. We don't know the reason Christina left.
Also, usually when you remind someone of why they both immigrated to the United States, or basically in this context, it's because you guys both know already why you guys did what you had to do, maybe had like some past together. But from the passage,
they're like neighbors. And
they're neighbors.
Christina's recently moved in, is what it seems.
Christina was like when what he said on line 97. It says, a benediction from then we were friends. So it means they just became friends, they were really just neighbors, acquaintances. A benediction meaning that it's like a connection that they have now because she, again, sympathizes and understands why they had to leave.
Also, it's when we left Panama, meaning Rafa and her. They left, according to context, line 55-ish. They left. Began telling me about when she and Rafael and her boys had come from Panama 15 years ago after the invasion. When she had left Panama, which means they didn't leave at the same time, so they didn't have the same circumstances.
Okay, so just let me. Wait, do you have anything to say, or just truth?
Yeah, I said D. And
all right.
I thought
I'm so sorry.
in line 83 to 84, I helped to mixture of embarrassment and indignation. I feel like Cecilia recognized that and she wanted to make her feel better, so she.
Also, you really would feel embarrassed for
Alright,
a friend or somebody who's gone through the same stuff as you.
Let me explain my side. Well, number one, they don't necessarily have to be friends for her to remind her of
But
something.
they are friends.
Yeah, they're friends.
They're friends now.
Now they're friends.
I mean, now they're friends. They didn't have to be friends before that in order to remind you of something. I mean, they both know that they're, yes, sure, they didn't come from the exact same backgrounds. They both know that they're from similar backgrounds. And if you look at just the total context of the entire story, right? I mean, basically the entire story, they're talking about their children. And so I think that just, and then obviously in the paragraph specified, 91 to 96, right? It talks about how, what would parents do for their children? And so, just the connection between how most of the passage is about like what you do for your children, and then this is basically saying what parents will do a lot for their children. I think that's the reason why it's B. And let me tell you why I don't think it's D, right? Because, I mean, yeah, sure, they become friends, right? But that's not necessarily the point of her paragraph, right? If the point of her paragraph was, the point of her paragraph, she was speaking in much more of a general sense, where she was just talking about parents in general. And I feel like if it was about emphasis, if it was about empathy and understanding, right? She would try to be more focused personally to make sort of a personal connection rather than just talking about parents in general. And then since she's talking about parents in general, that goes back to B because it's talking about the general reasons why people immigrate to the United States.
Well, that is true.
Can I have a revision? Okay, so basically, it's asking that it's telling you and choice D is Celia tells the narrator about leaving Panama primarily to assure the narrator that she understands and empathizes with them. Now, if you go back to line 81, 79, she's going, Celia trailed off as though she didn't want to say it out loud, to Evers. So that makes me think that Evers is probably like a bad school, or like a specialized school, maybe that Christina's daughter might be.
We don't know that.
Now you can infer that her daughter is either in a bad situation. And then it also says that I hope so, it's why we came, for her to go to Evers, which makes me think she might have a condition or something. And also, it's temporary, I said. She only has to go there for a year or two. You don't have to explain it to me. I'm going to get better. I heard it's a good school. I hope so. It's why we came. And then she gazed at her for a long time before she says that and stuff. So, and she also put her head on yours. That's a sign of comfort.
Yeah. I was about to say that.
In a bunch of cultures, hands,
I know that, but
hands!
Just because they became friends at the end doesn't necessarily mean that the point of this paragraph was related to that. I mean, if you look at line 90, right? We're talking about line 90. It says, "I hope so." It's
you guys have less than a minute, by the way.
That was a topic, right? The topic is them.
I don't think they're talking about the paragraph as a whole. I'm pretty sure.
They are talking about their shared experience, but they're not talking about a personal experience between them that would be about empathy. They're talking about a general experience.
They're not reminding because they both know, and reminding would be sort of to jog your memory. Reminding would be like if a hero's talking to a villain, I'm like, why are you doing this? It's like because of my love.
Yo, can I point
Yeah,
Yeah,
what's up?
We have 22 seconds left.
No, okay.
And 3 of us say D, 1 person says B.
I'm
so
not
I
voting, no.
say the majority of us have them. We're
Majority
most
of-
likely to get D
Well,
correct.
I think it's
But
D.
There's 3 of us.
Well, our life is on the line.
I'm sorry.
Your life is-
I didn't
Guys,
I'm not choosing. I'm sorry. I'm not backing down.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay, so what is your like consensus for A? I mean, number 1.
You don't have a consensus. Oh, for one, we have.
No, we have different
For two.
The one is
What about for
D.
D.
No, we have no consensus.
Okay, the
Three out of-
rule
three
is
out
that
of
you
four
guys.
say D.
Okay, the rule is you guys all have to come to the same answer. So if
D.
one of you guys are not coming
I
to the
can't
same
say the
answer,
wrong
Say yes,
answer.
we have to.
How about-
Say yes.
I don't care about the
Just because, okay, you don't all have to get it right. That was not the point. You just all have to have the same answer. So like, are you guys willing to change your answers? Good job, you guys are like strong in your
Have you been
standpoints.
recording?
So you didn't like everyone gets like food no
He
matter
looks
what.
bigger
That's a
than
joke.
all of us. So
Yeah, he's older than all of you.
I can be bigger.
First, wait, you guys juniors or?
We're
What?
freshmen.
We just lost it. Oh, dang.
the main person on the left side.
Yeah.
Huh?
How do you lose to underclass?
I didn't lose though. I'm right.
You're not right.
See?
The right answer is D.
No, the right answer is B. You
No, it's
guys
not,
aren't
it's
considering the
not.
full context
No.
of the passage.
We don't know. We're talking about lines. 91, 96.
Hey.
Okay.
Guys.
Yeah. Okay. So there's like a lot we can take away from this, and it's that like
Don't be gaslighted.
real,
Say no to peer pressure.
true. Yeah,
I
exactly.
was saying no to peer pressure.
No, you weren't. You
what?
have to say yes to peer pressure. I told you to say yes to peer
Okay,
pressure.
whatever.
You
Continue.
should
Yeah.
listen to me.
And there's like power in numbers, and I think that's like a huge takeaway because the other way around, it would have been flipped results guaranteed.
Now, can you guys go in order and see what answers you got, starting with Sabine?
Alright. Question 1, I got A. Question 2, I got C. Question 3, I got D.
Are you?
Yeah, A, C, and D as well.
And then Ruba?
I got A, D, B.
A, D, B?
Oh wait, oops. A, B, D.
Okay. Okay, now, so you guys have 7 minutes to talk about your answers. You guys need to come to the same conclusion about what you guys have as answers, same 3 answers. If you guys get it all correct, and you guys will get candy, but if you guys don't get it correct, then you guys get no candy.
Alright.
Wait, what about, so what's going on with number 3? How'd you get B?
Okay, so pretty much what?
Oh, can you guys also speak up, because the
Yeah.
camera will pick up.
Sorry.
I mean, number 2 is like a little complicated, but we can get into that later. What about number 3?
Number 3. So the number of cell phones he sold in 2014 was 128% greater.
Okay.
So that means that you have 100%, and you have to add another 128%. So then
Yeah.
multiply that by 2.28.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Yeah.
2.28.
Yeah. So then 2014 is 2.28x, right? Okay. And now we have 15. The number of cell phones he sold in 2015 was 29% greater than in 2014. So
Yeah.
then you multiply.
B is
20.
0.29, so it's 29%. It says 29% greater, not 29% of.
What did you choose?
Okay, after the 128% greater thing, you have 2.28x, right?
Yeah.
And then we want 29% greater than this.
Yes, it's 1.2.
So 1.29 times
greater.
this.
Yeah.
What do you think? Then B says 0.29 times 2.28x.
No.
I chose
Wait,
D.
Oh yeah, you chose D.
Wait, what? Wait. Oh.
We chose the same thing. Oh, okay. I just
I was
labeled
kind
it
of-
differently.
Oh, okay,
I
that's
was
fine, that's
confused
fine.
for a
Oh,
second.
okay, yeah. I was so confused.
It's because you
I s-
went 1, 3. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah,
I was
okay,
so
okay.
confused. Okay. Okay.
What about 1?
Okay.
You guys want? Okay,
should we
we
read
understand
down?
1.
We should.
No, it's okay. I'll keep this all in, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you guys understand? Okay, so 1 is simple.
I was so
Yeah.
confused.
Okay, let's say what 2. So
2, you chose C, and you
yeah,
chose
I chose C.
C. Okay.
So
From the country, why?
why do you think it's B?
Because it says that you get a random sample of runners from a certain city. So you wouldn't be able to generalize that to the country.
Yeah, you would.
I mean, like if you have from a certain city, on average, like high school athletes, when you think about it, across the country are probably not going to be that statistically different
You have to think
from
about
city to city.
It's like between each variable, what like actually like changes the data, right? It's like okay, let's look at the options, right? Like D, okay, that's all runners. Obviously, all
That's-
runners
yeah.
are different
Yeah.
high school athletes, right? But like, just being in a different place, it doesn't change the data that much. Like, that doesn't really affect it. So you generalize the entire country.
I mean, like, okay, like, wait, no, go ahead.
Are you sure? Because I don't think it can be generalized more than the city.
Yeah, because like, just think about it, right? Like, okay, your city doesn't like really affect, like, it doesn't really affect that.
The city doesn't affect the quality of like the, I guess the athletics department is what I'm thinking. Like, okay, that's a little too like assumptive, but like the city is not really what determines this kind of data. It's more of like, I would think the country would have more of an influence on it. Like city to city, there's probably not much variation.
I think you can have variation city to city. Because if we're comparing like a city where, I don't know, maybe like the runners aren't that good at running, and then we have another city where the runners are really good, and
I mean that's assuming the claim,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, yeah, in theory a city could be different from another. That yeah. But I think on average, like the majority of cities within a country, or at least the region of the country would be more or less similar. Most cities in that country. Like, okay, obviously you can say something for the city, right? If you take the sample size from the city, yeah, I agree. But I think that's a little too small.
And like also oftentimes it's like just how like experiments work in general. Like if you if you put that logic where it's like you can't generalize one city to the entire country. But, like there's experiments where there's like they only test maybe like 1,000 people, but then they use those results to generalize the entire country. Like that's just how experiments work. Like you just take a small sample size and use that to like talk about like a much larger one. Because like obviously you can't test like 400 million people, but it's much easier to test.
Yeah, it's like a sample size.
So you can.
I do agree that people do this, but can you safely generalize it? Can you be 100% sure
Yeah,
that
because
the data is accurate?
It doesn't really affect the data. Like unless there's like,
I guess it depends on the type of data.
Unless there's differences that we know.
For example, if you're measuring like heights within a city, probably the heights within one city is not going to be that different from the heights within another city of a country. I mean, okay, one city might have a little bit of a higher average, but like across a country, the cities are more or less going to be uniform. When you have that many cities, I think it's more or less uniform. And also I mean, to be fair, they took like all high school track participants in the city. So it's not like, okay, if it was a subset of the city, then the most I think you could generalize is the city. But you take all the high school track participants.
You have to think about like all the parts of the city still cancel out.
Well, I want to candy, so I think we can agree. But safely.
I would say so, but
no, I'm pretty sure it's safe.
I would.
I mean, I've seen problems like that. I've seen problems like this before.
I've seen problems like this.
I have taken many problems like this. Yes.
We went to SAT prep together over the summer.
I was goated on the sauce, no cap.
He was goated on the sauce. He would get 15 90s on every single one.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys come to a general answer. So what is your answers? You guys all have to have the same one, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
maybe like list them.
1A, 2C, and 3D.
Okay.
Yeah.
You specifically were in all three of them. Why do you think we chose you to be in all of them? Other than the fact that you're available. That's not the point though.
I think I was picked for all three because I lie all the time. I lie for fun. I lie for sport. I think lying is very funny when you pull it off correctly. And this was a very good example of that because like, I mean, even then, you just get some interesting results. You can mess with people. And so, I'm not advocating for lying. I'm not a psychopath. But I'm just saying.
I am advocating for lying.
I'm saying overall, I think I was picked because I endorse lying. You should all lie.
You just say you don't endorse lying.
You know what?
I don't know what you're talking about. I never said
Are you
that.
gaslighting your
I am
audience?
Fareed Jamil, and I endorse.
He is number one gaslighter. Don't trust
I never
I
endorsed
am
lying.
never trusting these two again.
That's crazy.
Okay, so what are your thoughts after this experiment?
I think the experiment was very funny.
Okay.
I feel very sad and disappointed in myself for not having the confidence, but I must say it was because of the candy. It was because of the candy, because I wanted the candy. And I trusted Arif because we went to SAT prep together over the summer and he got 1590s on every single SAT exam. Yeah,
Very
so I trusted
credible.
Arif.
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah,
very credible.
yeah.
Do you think if it wasn't for him or if there wasn't candy, you would have not changed your mind?
Definitely. I feel like I would have argued my way through if there wasn't a reward.
And do you think that the fact that this is math and not English makes you like more confident? Because math is like kind of a definite answer.
I think math definitely makes me more confident. Yeah.
Describe your experience as being a gaslighter in this trial.
It was really interesting. I mean, I personally, you know, I guess I consider myself a little bit extroverted. Like when I'm with people, I guess my confidence is okay with like something like the SAT and like a test question. If you're arguing with someone, my instinctive response is to be a little more unsure-ish, so that I don't like pin myself down on a position that I could be wrong on. And I think I tried to like act like that with the thing. I wasn't like so much like the answer is C. I was letting Samin be a little more, and I was like, yeah, that's basically what I thought too. So you know, I was trying to be a good actor, maybe.
Would there be anything you'd want to change to this experiment?
I think the motivation definitely. Probably Samin already talked about this, but I think the motivation changes some things because I think the original experiment, the motivation was not really like, it wasn't really a material thing. I think it was more so like a social effect. And I think if you're trying to, on one hand you have like a physical material reward, and on the other hand you have I guess like a social sort of regulator that's causing someone to lean towards the wrong answer when being convinced by other people. I think measuring that one would be a little more interesting because you measured the former this time.
I wanted to ask, so like if you guys don't know, all the gaslighters were handpicked. Why do you think you were picked?
Why do I think I was picked? I mean, I guess I'm a good talker. Maybe that's why. I talk pretty confidently. Yeah, and I'm a decent actor.
Okay, good job. Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Bye.